their rehabilitation and reintegration into society. The presentation of the warrants reflect the exercise of the President's constitutional power of clemency, extending mercy to individuals deemed deserving after careful consideration of their circumstances. For the recipients, the pardon offers an opportunity for a fresh start. The occasion also underscores the principles of justice, compassion, and rehabilitation within the nation's legal system. Minister of Justice Devish Maharaj, who is the chairman of the Advisory Committee on the Power of Pardon Mercy Committee, presided over the distribution of the warrants during a ceremony at the ministry's head office on Tuesday. He hailed the recipients' rehabilitation and stressed the importance of second chances and restorative justice. The minister thanked the Mercy Committee and its secretariat for their work while acknowledging the backlog of applications and reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to improving the efficiency and timeliness of the pardon process. The Ministry of Justice said the presentation of the pardons reflect its commitment to rehabilitation, restorative justice, effective institutional oversight, and adherence to the rule of law. In other news, the University of Trinidad and Tobago, in partnership with the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, the Ministry of Culture and Community Development, and the National Academy for the Performing Arts, hosted on Thursday Uhuru, Celebrating Freedom in commemoration of African Emancipation Day. Through readings, music, dance, and theatre, the production honored the resilience of African people and highlighted the enduring influence of African heritage on Trinidad and Tobago's identity. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, Hansen Narayan Singh, said the celebration reminds us that history is not simply a record of the past, it is a guide for the future.
The journey of our African ancestors who fought for emancipation and our East Indian ancestors who arrived under the indentureship system in a search for better life are extraordinary stories. Together, these experiences have shaped the values of resilience, of solidarity, and of mutual respect that continue to define our national identity.
The minister reaffirmed education's vital role in preserving history while empowering citizens to contribute meaningfully to national development.
Institutions such as the University of Trinidad and Tobago, which falls under the ambit of the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, serves not only as centers of academic excellence, research, and innovation, but are also spaces where our heritage, our creativity, and our diverse cultural expressions are explored and celebrated.
He urged that as we commemorate emancipation, we must reaffirm our commitment to building a country where opportunity is open to all, drawing strength from the legacy of our ancestors. In sport, in the Central America and Caribbean Games, Trinidad and Tobago's men's 4x100-meter freestyle relay team of Nikolai Blackman, Zarek Wilson, Dylan Carter, and Liam Carrington had a sensational performance, winning gold. In the process, the team shattered the 4x100-meter CAC record in a time of 3 minutes, 16.91 seconds.
We're here at the CAC Games 2026. Just won gold on the men's 4x100-meter freestyle. I've been doing that race here at the CAC Games since 2018. We got bronze, and in 2023 we also got bronze. I was on both of those relays, and this relay win has been a goal of mine for years. I've been trying to get these boys. I knew we had the talent, so to really put it together tonight, and with a games record to boot, I'm so proud of those guys. I think we only have up to go on that relay.
And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Stay with us. Trinidad and Tobago Today is next.
When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens, because your world can't wait. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders, turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Outside, exclusively on Talk City 91.1 FM. The men in maroon are coming home. It's the We Outside campaign, the 2026 international home season for the West Indies men's cricket team. And the final leg of the home season takes place right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Talk City 91.1 FM is proud to hold the exclusive radio broadcast rights for the two-match test series between the West Indies and Pakistan from July 25th to July 29th. History will be made as the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Aruba hosts its first ever international test match, a landmark moment for cricket in Trinidad and Tobago. Then the action shifts to the iconic Queen's Park Oval for the second test from August 2nd to the 6th. Every session, every wicket, every century, every moment. Follow the West Indies, the men in maroon, as they battle Pakistan in a historic test series. We Outside, exclusive ball-by-ball coverage, updates, analysts, and commentary, only on Talk City 91.1 FM, the home of cricket conversation. Talk City 91.1 FM, where the men in maroon live.
We are the drum shaking. We are the drum shaking. We are the drum shaking. Shaking.
Friday, 31st July 2026. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran, and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Today, we honor more than a moment in history. We honor a people. We honor the millions of Africans whose humanity endured despite the brutality of enslavement. We honor their resilience, their intellect, their spirituality, their artistry, and the countless contributions they made to building not only Trinidad and Tobago, but the modern world. Emancipation reminds us that African history did not begin with slavery, and African excellence did not end with it. It is a history of kingdoms, scholars, innovators, warriors, artists, and visionaries whose legacy continues to live on across the African continent and throughout the diaspora. This year's theme, Igniting African Consciousness, Dismantling Colonial Legacies, calls on us to reclaim that truth, to celebrate our heritage, to deepen our understanding of our shared history, and ensure that future generations inherit pride instead of prejudice, knowledge instead of myth, and unity instead of division. Throughout our special program this morning, we'll celebrate the voices, the stories, the music, the traditions that continue to strengthen the enduring bond between Trinidad and Tobago and Africa. Good morning once again, and thank you for joining us for this special Emancipation Day edition of Trinidad and Tobago Today. Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings.
For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going like, you know.
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you know, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
Let's get this party started right.
Hi, I'm Penny Gomez and welcome to Pop. Hey, Ziggy Rankin, welcome to Pop.
Better late than never.
You know what kind of show you sign up for when you come here, right?
Anything can happen, so we on Pop.
Man, not to live, you know, so hey.
You was no Rasta, man.
Never.
Paprika.
Yes, Paprika.
That's not dancer, you know. Nicholas supposed to know because he was...
Who Nicholas? Nicholas as in our song guy?
I will call my punch man great.
Condensed milk to the rescue is what I will see. Last one here, bring it home.
When Penny on the road, what it name? Love how she whining, the way how she carries every load. We love how she whining, and the way you move, and the way you move. Penny girl, you put the man them digging at the mood, and the mother and the young make you look so rude. Love how you whining.
Oh, gentlemen, oh.
The Mother Church of the Anglican Diocese suffered significant damage during the earthquake of 2018. Efforts are underway to raise funds to restore this national heritage site. You are invited to make your donations with monthly deposits at any branch of the First Citizens Bank, account number 2696950, Marval Road Branch, in the name of the Incorporated Trustees of the Anglican Holy Trinity Cathedral Restoration.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
As Trinidad and Tobago prepares to commemorate African Emancipation Day, this year's theme invites us to look beyond remembrance and toward transformation, igniting African consciousness, dismantling colonial legacies. And leading that conversation is the Executive Chair of the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, Zakia Uzoma-Wadada, who has dedicated her life to promoting African history, culture, education, and empowerment. This morning, she'll share what this year's celebrations have in store and why the journey of emancipation remains as relevant today as it was generations ago. Ms. Zakia, welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today.
Thank you so much. It's
How are you
always a
this
pleasure
morning?
being here at TTT.
And Emancipation Day greetings to you as well.
Thank you, and same to you and all of the staff here and to the national public.
Now, this year's theme is Igniting African Consciousness, Dismantling Colonial Legacies. Very intricate, very profound. Now, what does that mean in practical terms for the average TNT citizen?
Yes. So I want to start with this is a little bit of history in the sense that following emancipation, what we would have had is the liberation of Africans from the enslavement process. But we would understand that persons who would have gone through centuries of this kind of oppression, as we would call it, there's a process now for you to find self. And remember, enslavement was part of the colonial process, and it also managed structures, the way we did things, the way we were perceived, the way we were educated. All of those things became part of the colonization process. So even though we were, let us say your chains were freed, okay, so now you are free, you can go to get work, that is still controlled by the state. Where you work, what you are able to do, how you are educated so that you can prepare yourself, what are the structures in place that allow you to grow, maybe if you want to grow in business. You see, so none of those things were considered as part of that full emancipation process. A lot of them we had to fight for. We had to fight for free education. We know right here in Trinidad and Tobago, you had to fight to find your place in to be able to do certain jobs. So even though the country, and it goes beyond the experience of Africans, because even when we became independent, yes, we were said, okay, you have internal self-government, but we still had a governor which represented the colonial state. And even now we have become a republic. Most of our structures, how we deal with our prisons, how we deal with decision making, how we deal with governance, all of those things still form part of the colonial infrastructure. And therefore, for us and as Africans in the society, we realize that the continuation of the liberation process and the point at which we are, it cannot go any further until we begin to decolonize some of those structures. You see? Yeah. So that we start to see ourselves through our own eyes, that we understand our own history, because we can now begin to see ourselves not as slaves, but as enslaved persons, persons who had their own life, their own culture, their own infrastructure. Now all of those things, we have to find back those things so that that full liberation process can take place. So therefore, the decolonization would be about our education. What are we teaching our children so that they can make that journey back to self? How are we managing the economic space so that Africans are given the same opportunities and that there are not structures in there that might perhaps inhibit them because of perhaps where you live, where you came from, those kinds of issues still are part of our reality. And even, as I said, let us talk about policing, for example. Policing, a part of the colonial infrastructure, came into being in order to go to find enslaved persons and bring them back. That is the origin of policing. And therefore, there is still this attitude to how police deal with persons, like in a particular community, as against how they deal with others, you see? So what I am saying is that all of this is part of the colonial infrastructure, and it is intricately linked to the full liberation process. So for us, so we have to begin to, so they're kind of interdependent, because it's the igniting of our African consciousness makes us understand these things about colonial decolonization. And then we need the decolonization to also help in igniting the African consciousness. So it is really very interesting theme, but I think it causes us to think about some very, very serious current things that form part of our reality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Ms. Zakia, the Emancipation Support Committee has really grown into one of the country's most significant cultural organizations. Yes. So tell us now, how has its mission evolved over the years?
Yes, okay. Now, the Emancipation Support Committee was formed in 1992 with the specific purpose of ensuring that August 1st remained Emancipation Day. Because in 1992, the world was celebrating the quincentennial anniversary of the arrival of Columbus in the Caribbean. And at one time, August 1st was celebrated as Columbus Day here in Trinidad and Tobago for many years. In 1985 is when August 1st was formally recognized as a holiday in Trinidad and Tobago, based on advocacy for years by organizations like the National Joint Action Committee, and even before that, persons always fought for August 1st to be recognized as Emancipation Day and not Columbus Day. So in 1992, with the concern about the quincentennial anniversary and Columbus Day again emerging as the major what you would call it, celebration on Emancipation Day. An organization was formed to ensure that August 1st was continued to be celebrated as Emancipation Day, and it was a major focus of the day. So that was the origin of the Emancipation Support Committee. But the organization, of course, then continued to try to build the celebration of emancipation as part of that whole process. This is Emancipation Day. How are we going to commemorate this day? So over the years, they were building on the commemoration. In 1996, we tried to transition from small, sometimes more community-based small groups, and try to bring the communities from across Trinidad and Tobago into the city, so that we can have one big celebration. And in that instance, it moved from Mucurapo, because it used to be held at Mucurapo Secondary School. It moved then to the Emancipation Support Committee. And we named it the Lejiasu Omawale Village because Lejiasu Omawale, who had transitioned at the same year, was one of the founding members of the Emancipation Support Committee. But the organization has grown from beyond an organization that really just comes together to celebrate emancipation to a full development organization. You know, we function 24, for the full 12 months of the year. I'm going to say 24/7 because sometimes it feels like that. For the full 12 months of the year, we have a number of program areas under which we function, and each of those program areas is represented in the festival. So that is like youth development, culture, education, business development, African Union and Diaspora Affairs, you know, advancing the human rights of Africans. All of those are part of what we do, and we have work that we do throughout the year under each of those program areas, and every event of the festival incorporates one of those program areas.
What is a brief message you'd like to leave with the population, regardless of anyone's background this morning?
Yes.
What would you want everyone to take away from this year's observance?
Yes, I think it is really important for us to look at the development of our country, and we need, as a people who would have come out of a particular kind of historical experience, whether it be enslavement, whether it be indentureship, we need to decide what our future is. And to us, part of that future is intricately linked to the dismantling of colonial legacies. And it will be beneficial to all of us here in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean if we begin to seriously think about that dismantling, so that we can really be all truly liberated.
Absolutely powerful.
Yes.
Ms. Zakia, thank you so much for joining us and for the work that you continue to do in preserving history, promoting education, and creating spaces for meaningful dialogue. And Emancipation Day is not only an opportunity to honor the sacrifices of those who came before us, but also to reflect on the kind of society that we're continuing to build together. We wish you and the Emancipation Support Committee so much success with this year's celebrations. Thank you again for being with us on Trinidad and Tobago Today. We take a break.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports with Nasira Mohammed, daily at 7 p.m.
I'm Jamila Bannister, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
Divide Us, a roots reggae collaboration between Trinidad and Tobago's Daniel Bless and Sierra Leone's Costco B. And the song really carries a powerful message of love and unity and cultural connection, reminding us that our greatest strength lies in standing together.
Divide us, Babylon divide us, so they can rule us.
As Trinidad and Tobago prepares to commemorate African Emancipation Day, we explore the significance of preserving Africa's rich history and cultural heritage. Sierra Leonean historian, anthropologist and lecturer Francis Musa Momo joins us to put into context emancipation through the lens of how history informs identity, why protecting historic sites and material culture matters, and the initiatives undertaken like the One Nation Reggae Festival aimed to raise awareness on Sierra Leone's shared heritage, foster people and cultural exchanges with Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Atlantic world. Well, these further lay a sound foundation to understanding Africa's past, generate pride in our youths for the enduring legacies of our ancestors as mirror for future generations. Francis, welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. It's so wonderful to have you with us.
I'm so blessed to be here.
Now, please help us, with how deep cultural immersion is motivation for travel. Why is it important for Africans on the continent to really visit the Caribbean, in this case, Trinidad and Tobago, noting the similarities that you have noticed between the cultures?
So I'm very happy to be here and also trying to put in context Emancipation Day and how Emancipation Day relates not only across the Atlantic, but spaces on the continent of Africa, right? Because emancipation being celebrated in Trinidad is like preservation of broader African culture, right? So in that context, I will say that travel is underpinned by culture, basically, right? Because cultural immersion, right, is a way of changing your perception about a society and a people. It moves you beyond the primary or conventional tourist trails, right? Say you go to a monument and just take a photo or read about that monument, but you don't really understand the stories or the complexities or the layered history behind that monument. So cultural immersion changes your perception about the society. So that's why, and it also broadens your horizon. It makes you fully immersed, get engaged with the roots culture, so that it also gives you an understanding that will make you be adaptable to certain societies and even understand cultural diversity. So that's why people in these days travel to spaces that they are valued, spaces that respect cultural diversity, spaces that also value heritage management. So cultural tourism is an important segment of the broader tourism ecosystem. And going to having Africans traveling to Trinidad and Tobago, I would say it's an extension of Africa, right? It's an extension of Africa with what has happened during and after enslavement, the African retentions that have been sustained in Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean context of our people is integral for Africans on the continent and even Sierra Leoneans, based on the rich cultural heritage that Sierra Leone and Trinidad shares, to see and learn and immerse themselves so that they can tell a better story. So for instance, you talk about food, rice is the same thing for Sierra Leoneans. Sierra Leoneans eat rice, Sierra Leoneans eat beni, and they eat beni with their rice, which is also the same way that the people in Trinidad and Tobago do. They eat okra and rice. All of that are important part of our culture, which is foodways, and also the quest for emancipation during and after slavery. So Sierra Leone, the capital city that I'm sitting here now talking to you, is Freetown. That Freetown was born out of an African emancipatory and liberative spirits. So those shared values and cultures need to be popularized and educate our two countries about.
Yeah. Francis, Sierra Leone and Trinidad and Tobago share deep historical connections through the African diaspora. So how do you see those ties today?
Yeah, so one of the practice, because for me, I believe that practice is part of preservation, right? The things that you do and actively do over time is important for people in the preservation industry, right? Or in the preservation landscape. So, for instance, the One Nation Reggae Festival is a cultural immersive initiative. So it goes beyond the music. It educates people about the spiritual values, the spiritual connections, right? So if you look at Trinidad, Tobago, and Sierra Leone, I would want to put it in context. In 1718, a ship from Bones Island, Margaret, left Sierra Leone with at least 100 plus people, and then landed in Annapolis, which is Maryland now, which is in the Chesapeake area, in August 1718, right? And that was one of the first time that a unique cultural group was introduced into that area from Sierra Leone, right? And if you look at, if you draw a connection between those people who were enslaved in that space and the South Carolina, Georgia, and Charleston and other spaces, are also linked to the War of 1812 that brought liberated people that fought for their self-emancipation in the 1812 war on the side of the British, and later ended either in Nova Scotia or in Trinidad and Tobago and became Mary Kings. So there is a deep history from this side to the US and also to Trinidad and Tobago. That is a rich cultural connection. And also during and post-emancipation, you had indentured servants coming from Sierra Leone into Trinidad at the time, during and post-emancipation, and even also free Africans that lived in Trinidad who were crewmen. So the crewmen settlements in St. Mary, Aropuchi in Trinidad are part of Sierra Leoneans that landed in Trinidad. So that is a strong connection with the crewmen, and crewmen we are like the Maroons of the Caribbean, right? They resisted enslavement on the continent, that the British did not enslave them. So they made them crewmen based on the ship, based on their knowledge of the waterways of Africa. So now if you take that connection from here, going to Chesapeake space in the United States, which even the 1812 war was also part of a maritime war that led the Marines, the colonial Marines who were Black, ended in Trinidad, became Americans. So that is a significant part of our connection. There is Sierra Leone Road in Trinidad and Tobago. Just I had mentioned the crewmen settlement. So that's why even when we were doing the One Nation Reggae Festival, the One Nation Reggae Festival, the initiative started on Emancipation Day 2025, August 1, where we also had sisters, family members from the Caribbean, and even a sister, Aliyah Fraser, from Trinidad, that gave lectures on our work, the Caribbean Herbalism, a book that she had done to students on that day that the One Nation Reggae Festival was launched in 2025, which also contextualized emancipation as a strength and resilience as a form of rallying global African diaspora unity.
Now, I have to ask you, you've dedicated your career to preserving history. What advice now would you give to young people who want to, protect and preserve their own heritage and their cultural identity?
It is important, it's digging deep into your history, right? Young people need to understand their history, because if we talk about decolonization of colonial legacies are not just in monuments, they are in text, basically. They are in text, right? They are in text. So for instance, this is a book written by Cheikh Anta Diop, Pre-Colonial Black Africa. Young people can also dig deep into subject like this that talks about the various contexts of pre-colonial Black Africa prior to disruption of the excellence of Africa, which is the transatlantic enslavement of African people and this involuntary displacement of African people in the Caribbean and other spaces in the world, right? So, for instance, there is when the Portuguese invade, the first time that the Portuguese gained knowledge of Africa was in 1415, basically, and they attacked a sophisticated landscape in Morocco known as Ceuta, right? So I'm just read a space of an eyewitness when the Portuguese, with their marine excellence at the time, exploration, entered Ceuta, massacred people, and then stole a lot of stuff in Ceuta. One of the eyewitnesses had mentioned that our poor houses, he was mentioning Portugal, where he was coming from, because at that time, the kings of Portugal were so poor that they can't even make their own gold, right? So he was stating that our poor houses look like pigsties compared to those of Ceuta, wrote an eyewitness. And that is in Roger Crowley's work, The Conquerors, right? So, and also you just talked to Gil, who mentioned that she is a griot based on the spoken word that she's saying. And griots are historians, oral historians in West Africa, right? So the area of Mande, which is Mali, as early as in the 13th, from Ghana, Mali, and Songhai, you had griots that could narrate the evolution of that society till contemporary times. So one of the important declaration that talked about early African declaration on human rights as a constitution that was orally dictated by Sundiata Keita on his coronation, Koronko Fuga. He stated, they called that the Mandate Charter. The Mandate Charter was a constitution. Basically, it was orally done. And that constitution was talking about a lot of the issues that if young people today can get into some of these subjects around unity, around human rights. It even mentioned that there is no ancient life. Every life is worth. No life is worthier than another, right? That is the dictation, the proclamation, which goes against inhuman treatment, right? And it even mentioned in that constitution that nobody should be hungry and nobody should be raided and enslaved.
Yes,
so basically, that was one of the earliest abolition of enslavement of African people that is in 1222. Basically, that is in 1222. Before even we're talking about emancipation in the 1800s, right? So it tells you that Africans since that time, in the era of Sundiata Keita, who was the Lion King of Mali Empire, had projected with his elders, the Council of Elders, to proclaim that slavery is non-existent within the boundaries of Mande Empire. Right? Which is critical for young people to dig deep into African history. Because for me, as a lecturer that teaches even comparative slavery, the first day of my class, go to university lectures for year 3 BA students, and you ask them comparative slavery. Most of what they know about slavery is the transatlantic enslavement.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Francis. That was a very profound point. We really hope that you'll join us again to continue this very important discussion. But we really appreciate you being with us here on our very special Emancipation Day program. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much to Francis for joining us and sharing a very interesting and knowledgeable perspective. We take a break, and then we come back with more.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on,
I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel. And I never regretted it.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
This August, join TTT as we celebrate emancipation through a month of culture, history, and entertainment. in collaboration with the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the Pan-African Festival as it unfolds across your screens. Beginning with the historic Emancipation Ceremony, live from downtown Port of Spain on August 1st, Emancipation Day, TTT brings you a month-long lineup of festival highlights, including the Youth Pan Extravaganza, Pan-African Night Concert, Unity Reggae Concert, and much more. Delve into our history, heritage, and the contributions of our African descendants through powerful documentaries that preserve stories of resilience, identity, and legacy. Plus, enjoy a selection of entertaining films and dramatic stories to round out your viewing experience. This August, connect with the culture, the stories, and the moments on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
Up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 10-20 feature is just for you. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
Emancipation Day special, we're highlighting the voices that keep our history, our culture, and identity alive through storytelling. Our next guest is one of Trinidad and Tobago's most accomplished spoken word artists. Zakia Griot-Gill is an award-winning poet, educator, and cultural advocate whose work has earned national and regional acclaim. And whether she's performing on major Caribbean stages or mentoring young people, she uses poetry to preserve our heritage, inspire healing, and really spark meaningful conversations. And today, she's joining me to discuss the power of spoken word and her latest work, The Weight She Carries. Zakia, welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Such an honor to have you here on set with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
For those who may not know, why did you choose the name Griot, and what responsibility comes with carrying that title?
No problem. So I did not choose the name Griot. It was actually given to me by Dr. Ifibo and the late Mr. Norman Fullerton. It took me a while to understand the responsibility of the griot, but as I grew and with research, the responsibility of a griot basically is to help a people remember themselves, help us know our history, our story, because the griot lineage was birthed in Africa. That is how they told their traditions and stories and how culture was preserved, and they were praise singers and worship singers, and they went before what we will call the government and let the plight of the people known. They were walking libraries. During the slave trade, when they came to the Caribbean, the griot was still on the plantation, reminding people who they are, reminding them of their story, bringing healing and hope, and that's how Calypso evolved. True. So it's nothing new.
But definitely an honor to be bestowed that name. And as we prepare to celebrate Emancipation Day, Zakia, what role does spoken word really play in preserving our history and passing on stories to future generations?
I believe spoken word is essential because it really and truly could generate the feeling, that feeling of liberation, that feeling of igniting hope and remembering people remembering who they are. Some people may read a book and they may forget, but they will never forget a story. How they felt. Feelings is a very
emotions is a very thing. As Dr. Maya Angelou say, you may not remember what people say, but they'll always remember how you feel. So that feeling is important to captivate that audience and really and truly help them understand, and you could transfer them back or transfer them forward. So this is where you are, this is where you were, and here's where you could be.
Yeah. You've also described your work as being rooted in prayer and healing and home. What do those 3 words mean to you as an artist?
Well, you cannot separate spirituality from me, at least. I believe in the Most High God. Prayer is very essential. It helps me, I will say, a form of therapy. Home is where the heart is, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I love that. Now let's talk about your latest work, The Weight She Carries, an absolutely powerful title. So tell us what inspired that and what story are you hoping to tell?
Interestingly, so a very close friend of mine, I remember she called me and I was like, everything okay? And she was like, my daughter had an issue today at school, and she said she had an interaction with a young boy, and while they were having a conversation, her daughter stopped her and said, Mommy, did he do it because of the complexion of my skin? Did he do it because I am black? And I was shocked over the phone. I was like, what? How you prepare for that question? And then that's what I do. I take people's stories and pain, and with her permission, I asked her, could I tell your daughter a story, but I will not call her name? And she was like, sure, no problem. And I hope when her daughter heard the piece, she was like, Mommy, that's about me. And she was like, yes, and I want you to always remember that you're beautiful and you have a tribe behind you, that women who are willing to stand in the gap, and you're not alone in this place. And I hope it transcends to everyone, that same feeling.
Wow, that is powerful, Zakia. Well, Zakia, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your talent and your heart with us this morning. And your work really reminds us that our stories are worth preserving and our voices matter, and that art has the power to educate and heal and unite communities. Now, I know that you have a poem for us this morning. Can you tell us what would you be reciting for us?
The Weight She Carries.
The Weight She Carries. Well, there you have it. You're going to get a taste of it.
It seems to be Auntie Zakia's.
Well, it's a special treat this morning.
Favorite piece.
Well, here she is for you this morning. Award-winning spoken word artist, Zakia Gill. And this one is called The Weight She Carries.
My daughter got in trouble at school today. They claimed she pushed a little boy away, and on the paper it read she acted out. But no amount of black ink on white paper could express to me what all this acting out was really about. How come no one stopped to ask what really provoked this scene? What made this young boy thought it was okay to my daughter to be wild and mean, while he thought it was okay to ricochet off the classroom walls and beat on his chest and make monkey songs to her face? So as I tightened her braid, I reminded her every path is a pathway. Every cane road was an escape route. Even the way your hair defies gravity is a prayer in survival. But she stopped me mid-sentence and went, Mommy, did he do it because I am black? And in that moment, I felt my soul crack. I felt the voices of my ancestors crawl out of my back and ready to launch an attack, but instead was pain, shame, and chains attached, asking me, Griot, are you going to tell her the truth? Are you going to tell her that long before she got here, her identity they have been trying to pollute? Are you going to tell her that even the language itself was designed to make her a black target? That she will hear about the black sheep that was sold on the black market, accused for practicing black magic? Are you going to tell her that after 400 years of slavery, so many of us are still trying to moonwalk out our melanin? It seems like we are uncomfortable in this black skin that we were birthed in. Are you going to tell her that so many have bleached their skin until the bathroom sink stinks and their skin burns. It feels like they are trying to erase a pain they never deserve. Are you going to tell about all the black girls that pull at their curls like if it was punishment? Are you going to tell her this is the weight that she carried? That long before they call us black and savage, we were descendants of kings and queens. Are you going to tell her that we are the original stargazers? Are you going to tell her we who mapped out moon cycles, we are the one who sailed the seas by constellation? Are you going to educate her about Timbuktu, that he had a library deep as the same oceans they tried to drown us in? Are you going to school her on Mansa? Are you going to tell her about Ye Ashantiwa? Are you going to tell her that we are Nina Simone and Lauryn Hill wrapped up into one? So no, baby girl, no. He did not do it because you are black. He did it because he did not understand who you are. So don't you ever, ever, ever pull at your curls, straighten your nose, or bleach out your skin just to be accepted. And don't matter how many times they try to promote self-hate, you need to let them know that our black excellence, they will never be able to edit or erase. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zakia, for sharing all of this beautiful talent with us. We take a break and we come back.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going like, you know.
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you know, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
Who says you have to wait until December? This July, TTT brings the warmth, wonder and magic of Christmas in July. Escape into heartwarming Christmas movies every weekend, filled with love, laughter, family, romance and unforgettable holiday moments. Then keep the celebration going with spectacular musical entertainment featuring beloved local performers, festive concerts and inspiring performances from both young and established talent. It's the perfect reason to gather the family, make lasting memories and celebrate the joy of the season right in the middle of the year. Christmas in July, all month long, only on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
Win tickets to cricket history. The men in maroon are coming home and you could be there live. As part of the We Outside campaign, the West Indies take on Pakistan in an historic 2-match test series in Trinidad and Tobago. Watch and listen across the TTT Limited Network for your chance to win tickets to the matches. Tune in to TTT's Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show, Sweet 100.1 FM, Talk City 91.1 FM, and Next 99.1 FM. We'll be giving away tickets to both test matches, including the historic first test at Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Taruba, the venue's first ever international test match. So watch, listen, and win. West Indies versus Pakistan. The We Outside campaign continues, and your seat at the cricket could be just a call away. Watch, listen, win. West Indies versus Pakistan. Only on the TTT Limited Media Network.
We are the ground shaking. We are the ground shaking. We are the ground shaking.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
When it matters Reporters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens, because your world can't wait. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. The chairman and members of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the capsizing and sinking of the MV Virmala in Guyana were sworn in on Thursday. President Irfan Ali assured that the commission will be provided with the necessary support for the effective discharge of its mandate. Speaking to the commissioners following the ceremony, President Ali said the tragedy has brought immeasurable grief to the entire country, and the truth must be uncovered as families continue to mourn.
Our nation deserves a full, fair, and impartial account of what occurred, why it occurred, and what must be done to ensure that such a tragedy is never repeated. It is in fulfillment of that responsibility that this Commission of Inquiry has been established.
He said the commission will be given all the resources necessary to ensure they can discharge their duties and outlined what is expected.
They required a commission to determine the facts, examine the causes and contributing factors, evaluate compliance with applicable laws and operational standards, assess the effectiveness of the search, rescue, and recovery operations, identify any shortcomings or failures, and recommend reforms necessary to strengthen the safety and resilience of our maritime transportation system. The nation awaits such report.
President Ali expressed confidence in the expertise of the team of commissioners and expressed gratitude to them for taking up the task. In other news, Republic Financial Holdings Limited has recorded a $1.52 billion TT in profit for the 9-month period which ended June 30th, 2026. The company said this represents an increase of $24 million TT, up 1.6% from the corresponding period in the prior year. Its chairman, Yashmid Karamath, said the results reflected the strength and resilience of the group's regional operations despite challenging global economic conditions. RFHL reported $134.6 billion in total assets, $105.3 billion in customer deposits, and $17.4 billion in shareholders' equity. The board also declared an interim dividend of $1 TT per share, payable on August 28th to shareholders. Chairman Karamath said the group remains focused on technology investment, prudent risk management, and sustainable growth. 72 students from 24 primary schools showcased their creativity and environmental stewardship in the Solid Waste Management Company Limited's Trash to Art competition. Libertyville TML Primary School emerged victorious from among 24 primary school entries. Chief Executive Officer Ria Ramdeen noted that the challenge encouraged students to think critically about the impact of everyday waste.
This competition serves as a reminder that waste is not merely something to be discarded. With imagination and vision, it can be repurposed into something of value. The artworks showcase, which we do have some present here today, challenge us to think differently about consumption, recycling, and environmental stewardship. They inspire us to become more conscious of our impact on the environment and our role in building a more sustainable future.
Minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Clyde Elder, said the competition aligned with the government's environmental goals by encouraging sustainable behavior.
The competition also supports the broader objectives of the Ministry of Public Utilities and the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago by promoting environmental awareness, encouraging sustainable behaviors, and empowering young people to become active participants in building cleaner, healthier, and more resilient communities. Through initiatives such as Trash to Art, SWIMCOL continues to advance the national agenda for environmental sustainability while inspiring the next generation of environmental stewards.
In sport, Eddie Howe has stepped down as Newcastle United manager just 4 weeks before the new English Premier League season begins. The 48-year-old leaves with immediate effect after nearly 5 years in charge, a tenure highlighted by guiding Newcastle to their first major domestic trophy in 70 years, with the 2025 League Cup and securing Champions League qualification in 2023 and 2025. His departure follows discussions with the club's hierarchy over the past 48 hours, with several outlets reporting Howe's desire to take a break from management. The exit comes after a disappointing campaign in which Newcastle finished 12th in the Premier League, suffering 17 defeats. His final game was a 4-1 preseason loss to Bristol City on Wednesday. And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Coming up, more on Trinidad and Tobago today.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by...
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
This August, join TTT as we celebrate emancipation through a month of culture, history, and entertainment. In collaboration with the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, experience the Pan-African Festival as it unfolds across your screens. Beginning with the historic Emancipation Ceremony, live from downtown Port of Spain on August 1st, Emancipation Day, TTT brings you a month-long lineup of festival highlights, including the Youth Pan Extravaganza, Pan-African Night Concert, Unity Reggae Concert, and much more. Delve into our history, heritage, and the contributions of our African descendants through powerful documentaries that preserve stories of resilience, identity, and legacy. Plus, enjoy a selection of entertaining films and dramatic stories to round out your viewing experience. This August, connect with the culture, the stories, and the moments on TTT and ttt.live/train.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's Terrific Toon Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world on Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forest alongside our robot pals from Bugspot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. It's fun-filled adventure with Terrific Toon Time right here on TTT.
TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
As we continue our Emancipation Day special, we turn our attention to the power of music as a bridge between heritage, identity, and culture. Our next guest has dedicated her career to preserving African traditions through song, dance, and storytelling. Known to audiences as Empress Ajay, Alison Bernard is a singer, chanteur, cultural advocate, and the founder of the IBA Music Festival. And she has proudly represented Trinidad and Tobago on stages across Trinidad and Africa and made history as the first Trinidad and Tobago artist to collaborate with the University of Ghana's School of Performing Arts. And this morning, she joins us to share her remarkable musical journey and how she's helping strengthen the cultural ties between Trinidad and Tobago and the African continent. Empress Ajay, welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm excellent.
You look absolutely
excellent.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Love
you as
earrings.
well.
Thank you.
I could see a fuchsia pink hair wrap popping that
I
blue.
think you need to sort me out, maybe as a show.
Of course.
So let's talk about your music. It is so deeply connected to your African ancestry. How important is it for you to really preserve and share those traditions through your art?
Right. Great question. You know, music speaks. It's a language, a universal language. And we have different types of music. And, you know, music appeals to people's spirit. We always think it's the physical, but it's the spiritual. And if we was to take that and align it with African spirituality, then there must be some synergy. You know, so the music tells a story. I couldn't do any other music if I am to preserve African history, if I am to teach it through storytelling or dance. So the music, it's like a synergistic relationship, you know. When you hear the music, you don't have a choice but to think of Africa.
I love that. Now, as Trinidad and Tobago prepares to celebrate Emancipation Day under the theme Igniting African Consciousness, Dismantling Colonial Legacies, what does that mean to you now as an artist?
It's a lot of work. It's a big question. It's very big, far and wide. And, you know, it's not just talking it's walking the talk. You know, a lot of people talk, but what are we doing to really demonstrate and be exemplars as African elders, as artists? How is our knowledge base looking? Are we actually taking the youth and walking them, showing them the path? I'm talking about the African youth, because it's no secret that they are, you know, going astray. And because there's lack of foundation, there's lack of knowledge. And if you know who you are, you know your lineage, it gives you some stability in how you move forward in life.
I love that.
You know, so I'm saying the foundation, it's there. But what are we doing in terms of how is the information being disseminated? Are we doing it in the homes? You know? So when people are lost, you don't have a knowledge of yourself. So you're like, as they would say, a shaft blowing in the wind. You're blowing here, you're blowing there. So in order for us to really do serious work, education.
Yeah.
Education and how we can say thank you to our ancestors, not just walk around saying, you know, slavery and look what they did to my ancestors, but you need to say thanks in a meaningful way, not in ways that will make them ashamed. You know, say thanks in a meaningful way. So that is why I think the culture acts as a vehicle, as a medium, to do just that.
Yeah, that's food for thought. You know, one of the most crucial lessons I learned, you know, when we were studying history in secondary school is, in order to know where you're going in life, you have to know where you've come from. And as you said, you have to actually understand and pay homage to where you've come from and the people that have really blazed the trail for you to be where you are today. Whatever walk of life, exactly.
Ancestors.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, you describe yourself as the voice of those who came before you.
Definitely.
Now, who are the ancestors and stories that really inspire your music?
Right. Who inspire my music? A lot. But I like to start with local. You know, Andre Tanker for sure. You know, and I'm going to use those that transitioned already. Not that there aren't persons alive today who continue to inspire me, but Andre Tanker, definitely. You know, and I did a tribute show one time to him at Central Bank in 2022, right? And that was phenomenal. Singing Sandra, of course, singing Sandra, you know, her music, her mannerism on stage, you know, she was one that spoke directly to my spirit in terms of the way, you know, maybe it's because we're from the same spiritual belief system, the Orisha belief system, you know, so you get that coming out in our music. International, Miriam Makeba for sure. Miriam Makeba. I remember when she came to Trinidad and Tobago and the Emancipation Support Committee, they brought her to Trinidad. That show was held at Gympie Complex. It was like, you know, a wow factor for me. I can't believe it. You know, even in my set when I'm on stage, I must do a Miriam Makeba. So there are a lot of musicians, you know, that Hugh Masekela, a lot of musicians that really touch my spirit and give me that, you know, momentum to keep going and to keep representing the ancestors.
Now tell us about your journey as a chanteur, and how has this journey really helped to keep your, you know, cultural tradition alive?
Right. Well, Calypso is the foundation. That's the mother, you know. And first far back as I can remember, even in school I started singing, but I really took it serious around 2008, 2009, when I started off doing background vocals for Ella Andel, right? And yes,
What an honor. What was that experience like?
Oh, I would just tell you, people sometimes would say, I see where you get your the perfection type and attitude from, because she's that.
Could see it.
She is that, and I appreciate it now. She taught me a lot. You would think she's not listening, and she would hear a bad note even if she's away from you. So, you know, doing background vocals for her, and then she recognized my ability, and she said, you should try Calypso. But I was scared. Honestly, yes, I know it doesn't match your personality.
No, it does not.
I was scared
we
to
all
go.
have our moments.
Listen, I was scared to go on stage. I said, me? But you know, the rest is history. And then I got my feet wet, as they would say, at Calypso Review. I sang there for 5 years. You know, and I always want to thank Sugar Aloes for giving me that break, as we would say. You know, forever grateful to him and the review. And from there, in 2019, after I made the Calypso Monarch as a first reserve, after that season, I said, listen, there must be more to just waiting on Calypso, waiting for the season, you know. I must be able to do more. And that's when I started to do my own event, and it's the IBA Music Festival. I know most people say IBA, but it's a Yoruba word that means to give praise and honor, IBA. So Yoruba being a tonal language is pronounced IBA. And that's when I started IBA Music Festival. And I really had I always think far and wide, but I didn't think IBA would have happened in Ghana this year. I didn't see that coming at all.
And how was that for you?
It solidified in my mind that nothing is impossible, because I went to Ghana for FESTAC, Festival of African Arts and Culture, is an international event. And then I went over to Kenya to do some cultural work and getting ready to come back to Trinidad. But the ancestors will not have it that way. You know, I got a spiritual message to return to Ghana and do IBA. And that was scary, but you know, what it demonstrated was the effort of community, collaborative effort and coming together. I could not have done it alone. So, you know, I met a friend and I said, how do I start? And he said, listen, send in a proposal to the University of Ghana. I did that. I sold the event, the product. They liked the proposal, called me in for a meeting, and as they would say, the rest is history. You know, it was fantastic.
And now
no
you're
words.
here sharing this with us, and we're so proud of you.
Yes,
and you're
and
really taking TNT to the world.
Listen, the event was done also under the auspices of the Minister of Culture, the Minister Gomashi of Ghana.
Well, congratulations.
Yes, it was
again.
under the ministry.
So before you go, I have to ask you, what brief message would you like to share now with you know, everyone on this Emancipation Day, especially the young people, and tell them about, you know, preserving and embracing their identity and their heritage?
What I would like to say, especially to the youth, it's not, I am not an African, I don't want to know anything about that, I'm born in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, you get a lot of those responses. Of course you are a Trinidadian, Trinidad and Tobagonian, but we all came from ancestors. We all have a lineage. Everything upon this earth has, you know, a lineage. Every ethnicity, even plants, dogs, they came from somewhere.
Yeah.
So it is just a matter of being respectful and honoring your foundation, your lineage, where you came from, and being proud and respectful. So no one is asking you to dress in African clothes all the time, change your name. I think there is a, skewed information out there that's scaring a lot of the young people. It's knowing your foundation and how resilient you are by your DNA and what you can achieve because of who you came from. And once you know that, then it puts something in you that, hey, I could achieve. It's like, Yamen, the footballer, you see the 3-year-old? People done starting to say that little boy is going to be a World Cup footballer because of the lineage. But it's the same thing.
And we come from such a powerful lineage, and we love that you remind us about this
Of course.
Well, Empress Ajay, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. Your journey is truly a wonderful reminder that
Thank
music
you.
is more than entertainment, and it carries history and preserves culture and has the power to connect people across generations and across continents.
Absolutely.
And thank you for proudly repping the
Very proud.
about strengthening
Very
the
proud.
ties
Yes.
between our nation and Africa. We
Thank
wish
you very
continued
much.
Success.
Yes.
And everything in the Iba Music Festival and all the work you're doing. And hopefully you'll join us again.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
All right.
It's my
All right, we
pleasure.
take a quick break, and then when we come back, there's so much more in store for you on today's Emancipation Day show on Trinidad and Tobago today.
Tenacity, positivity, if only we can live in peace.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Hello everyone, I'm Pastor Lisa Singh from Heavenly Grace Ministries in New York, and I want to take this opportunity to invite you to join me right here every Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. It has been a fantastic 2026 so far, and the Word of God has just been unraveling in ways that we can only imagine. So I don't want you to miss out. Remember, every Sunday morning, 6:30 a.m. right here. Looking forward to being with you.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's terrific Tune Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world from Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forests alongside our robot pals from Bugs Bot Ignition, or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. Catch terrific Tune Time weekdays at 4:15 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. It's fun-filled adventure with terrific Tune Time right here on TTT. Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
More than 2 decades after its debut, Kambule continues to bring the story of the 1881 Kambule riots to life. Playwrights, producers, and citizens join together for a conversation on the importance of preserving history and celebrating the resilience of the people who shaped Trinidad and Tobago's cultural identity. Faith Chariot reports.
First staged in 2004, playwright Antu Springer's annual play recreates the events of Kambule riots while exploring the traditions, struggles, and triumphs that gave rise to Carnival and the nation's rich cultural heritage. Ms. Springer explained that the production's name was changed in 2010 to reflect the correct Kikongo spelling of Kambule.
She told us that Kambule was really Kambule, a Kikongo word which meant procession. And so in 2010, I changed the name of the production. I changed the spelling to Kambule.
Playwright Roll Gibbons said the production has remained relevant by evolving with the times, while continuing to build community and preserve collective memory through performance.
And the play is itself memory. Right? That's one thing, right? But it's also continuously doing two things. One is continuously making itself relevant to the moment, which is how the script changes. And secondly, continuously building community, building family. Yeah, I know that is, and that's really Antu's life.
Producer Attila Springer said Kambule also highlights the lives of the Jamit Yard, shedding light on both their cultural contributions and the hardships they endured beyond the carnival season.
So one is about how we articulate what the Jamit Yard is and what it did for the society. And two, it is to do what they couldn't do for their community because they were so busy eking out their existence, as we say in Kambule, right? Every other day, aside from the days when they were on the street playing their mass, they were living a hard, terrible life.
Audience members said productions like Kambule are essential to preserving oral traditions and ensuring younger generations remain connected to the history, culture, and legacy of their ancestors.
It's very important, right, because it's carrying on the oral traditions, right, that we have. It's one way of us sharing our history and the knowledge that we have, and it's inspirational now for the younger children or the generations after the elders, which will be us and then our children after, and the children that come after our children.
Kambule remains a powerful reminder of the sacrifices that shaped Trinidad and Tobago's cultural identity and the importance of preserving those stories for generations to come.
The countdown to Emancipation Day has begun with the official opening of the Lijiasu Omawale Emancipation Village at the Queen's Park Savannah, where African culture, history and tradition are being celebrated through music, food, fashion and education. Faith Chariot reports.
The Lijiasu Omawale Emancipation Village has officially opened at the Queen's Park Savannah, ushering the main celebrations leading up to Emancipation Day. Chairman of the Emancipation Support Committee, Zakia Uzoma Wadada, explained that the village is named in honor of Lijiasu Omawale, recognizing his pivotal role in advancing the annual observance.
For those of you who do not know why we call our village Lijiasu Omawale, he was one of the founding members of the founding chairman, because both himself and Brother Kafra were the founding chairman of the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago back in 1992.
Minister of Culture and Development Michelle Benjamin said emancipation is about far more than the end of slavery.
We will be celebrating not only the enduring contributions of our African people of Trinidad and Tobago, but also the vibrant cultural mosaic that defines us as a nation. This event reminds us that our diversity is not a source of division, but it is our greatest strength, and it is what unites us the most. Our African heritage is deeply woven into our rhythm, our culture, our music, our rich cuisine, which you will enjoy right here, our language, our spirituality. It's all with us.
The Emancipation Village will host cultural performances, educational displays, culinary experiences, and exhibitions leading up to the Emancipation Day celebrations on August 1st. Faith Chariot, TTT News.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going like, you know.
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you know, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
We outside, exclusively on Talk City 91.1 FM. The men in maroon are coming home. It's the We Outside campaign, the 2026 international home season for the West Indies men's cricket team. And the final leg of the home season takes place right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Talk City 91.1 FM is proud to hold the exclusive radio broadcast rights for the two-match test series between the West Indies and Pakistan from July 25th to July 29th. History will be made as the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Taruba hosts its first ever international test match, a landmark moment for cricket in Trinidad and Tobago. Then the action shifts to the iconic Queen's Park Oval for the second test from August 2nd to the 6th. Every session, every wicket, every century, every moment. Follow the West Indies, the men in maroon, as they battle Pakistan in a historic test series. We outside, exclusive ball-by-ball coverage, updates, analysts, and commentary only on Talk City 91.1 FM, the home of cricket conversation. Talk City 91.1 FM, where the men in maroon live.
We are the ground shaking. We are the ground shaking. We are the ground shaking. Shaking.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's Terrific Toon Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world on Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forest alongside our robot pals from Bugspot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. It's fun-filled adventure with Terrific Toon Time right here on TTT.
As Trinidad and Tobago celebrates Emancipation Day, we continue to honor the people and the organizations dedicated to preserving our rich cultural heritage. And for more than 4 decades, the Malik Folk Performing Company has been at the forefront of showcasing our traditions through music, dance and theatre, earning national and international acclaim along the way. And joining us this morning are 2 stalwarts of the company. Miss Gemma Jordan, affectionately known as the Voice of Carnival, and she's a veteran cultural icon and executive member of Malik Folk, while Kempis Ramnarayan, also known as Schoolboy, is the company's drum captain and tutor, helping to pass on the rhythms and traditions of our ancestors to the next generation. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
How are you both?
I'm fine.
You look lovely.
Well, thank you very much. I'll take that coming from you.
Aw.
You look lovely also.
Oh my gosh, and you look lovely. We could go back and forth for the entire day. Now, Malik folk has been preserving Trinidad and Tobago's cultural heritage since 1979. That was before I was even a thought. What has been the secret to the company's longevity and continued success?
Well, we were formed in 1979 by the late Norman Fullerton, and his vision was to the preservation and promotion of the indigenous culture of Trinidad and Tobago. So that is the mission statement of the company. And based on that, in 1979, yes, we went on, we participated in the Best Village program in dance, drumming, theater. And then we said, you know, we have to preserve our legacy. So in 1991, we started the junior company where we take them from as young as age 3, as long as they can follow instructions. So we take them from age 3, they remain in the junior company, and when they hit age 18, they come up to the senior company. But even during that time, we expose the young ones to the indigenous dances, the drumming, the theater, and the music of Trinidad and Tobago. In this way, we want to leave a lasting legacy of the indigenous culture of Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm proud to say that Kempes here, who is now our drumming tutor, Kempes joined Malik Folk Performing Company at the age of 9.
Wow.
So when we look at Kempes...
Just the other day?
Just the other day.
Yeah.
So when we look at Kempes, those of us who have been there for a long time feel very proud because many of our tutors are products from the junior company, and they have now come up to the senior company and have taken up roles of responsibility for passing on the culture to our young members.
Well, Kempes, let me get to you now. As drum captain and tutor, you're passing on more than rhythms. You're actually you're passing on history. That is a huge, huge task. What do you teach the young drummers about the significance of the drum in African and Caribbean culture?
Yes, because it's an honor and privilege to teach them that, because it's our history, and when we gain freedom, it's our way to celebrate and express ourselves. And through drumming, we can travel the world, we could take away ourselves from crime and all those activities. Negative things, we could, positivity.
So this year's emancipation theme focuses on strengthening African consciousness. So how does the Malik folk really help people reconnect with their cultural roots?
Well, again, we're dealing with the indigenous culture of Trinidad and Tobago, and we must not mix up ethnicity and nationality. We are Trinbagonians, we are nationals of Trinidad and Tobago, but our ethnicity is we are African. And we have to let them know where we came from, the history of Africa. And it does not begin just with slavery. Even before slavery, Africa has a very rich culture. And we pass those facts on to the young people through the dances. So we teach them like the ballet dance, which is a result of our French and African legacy. We teach them the African dances. We do drumming, because in Africa, when the main musical instrument is the drum. Kempes specializes in the djembe drum, which is the one which carries the main melody or rhythm, supported by the rhythm drums. And then we focus, even with our music, we teach them, like Ella Andel, Rhythm of a People. We teach them folk songs, many of which, you had Negro spirituals, which as a result of our African experience, right? Because the Negro spirituals were sung by the slaves to give them the energy, the impetus, and also to help them maintain their sanity during the period of slavery, which, as we know, is the most horrendous experience ever. So we teach them all of that, and we relate it to life in Trinidad and Tobago, because we use the African drum for celebration, to send weddings, christenings, functions and all of that. So we are doing our part to pass on not just the history, but the performing arts aspect of our African heritage to our young people.
All right. Well, I understand that we have a performance coming up, Kemba. So you want to give us just a teaser of what that might be?
Yes. Well, we're going to perform our winning piece that we won on Best Village last year.
Yeah.
It was the first time, it was history. We performed this piece. The name of the piece is Little But Talawa. Little but Talawa, the small but mighty.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining me and sharing the incredible work that you continue to do in preserving our cultural heritage. We really hope that you can join us again. There's so much to talk about, but enough talking. It's almost that time for our performance. So once again, thank you. And we welcome you back on Trinidad and Tobago today anytime that you want to join us.
You just invite us and we are willing to come
Absolutely.
back.
I'm gonna take you up on that. I love those earrings, so I might just have to borrow those earrings as well. We take a quick break, and when we come back, so much more on Trinidad and Tobago today.
TTT Weather with Zaina James, daily at 7 p.m.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
This August, join TTT as we celebrate emancipation through a month of culture, history, and entertainment. In collaboration with the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, experience the Pan-African Festival as it unfolds across your screens. Beginning with the historic Emancipation Ceremony, live from downtown Port of Spain on August 1st, Emancipation Day, TTT brings you a month-long lineup of festival highlights, including the Youth Pan Extravaganza, Pan-African Night Concert, Unity Reggae Concert, and much more. Delve into our history, heritage, and the contributions of our African descendants through powerful documentaries that preserve stories of resilience, identity, and legacy. Plus, enjoy a selection of entertaining films and dramatic stories to round out your viewing experience. This August, connect with the culture, the stories, and the moments on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
You are dearer to me than all the stars. So many wish but never reach. 'Cause when I'm falling and all the world seems dark, you help me find my peace. Oh, shun mi ba fijani. Oh, shun mi ba.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's terrific Tune Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world from Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forests alongside our robot pals from Bugsbot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. Catch Terrific Toon Time weekdays at 4:15 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. It's fun-filled adventure with Terrific Toon Time right here on TTT.
Emancipation took to the streets of Chaguanas East as hundreds turned out for a military parade, cultural procession, and an evening of drumming, steel pan, dance, and live performances celebrating the legacy of freedom, African heritage, and community unity. Faith Chariot reports.
The activities in Chaguanas East began with a military parade before residents, cultural groups and families marched through the streets to an evening of entertainment featuring drumming, steel pan, dance and other cultural performances celebrating the journey to emancipation. Member of Parliament for Chaguanas East, Vandana Mohit, reminded patrons that freedom was achieved through the sacrifices and resilience of those who fought for dignity, equality and justice.
Freedom was never handed to our ancestors. It was earned through sacrifice, perseverance, unwavering faith, and an unbreakable belief that every human being deserves dignity, equality, and respect.
She also praised the strong community participation, saying people from all walks of life came together to celebrate both their shared history and a collective future.
Chaguanas East has demonstrated exactly what community looks like. Give yourselves a round of applause. People from every walk of life walked side by side this afternoon. Young, old, families, community organizations, cultural groups, and patriotic citizens came together with one common purpose: to celebrate our shared history and our shared future.
Minister of Culture and Development Michelle Benjamin encouraged young people to embrace cultural celebrations as opportunities for reflection.
It is about regaining our dignity. It is about speaking to the future and to the youths gathered here today. When you attend a cultural program, I need you to take time to reflect where we came from. And of course, it's always important to know where you came from, and that will help you secure your future.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Suzette Martin urged citizens to carry the spirit of emancipation beyond the celebrations by promoting respect, unity and responsibility.
As emancipation celebration continues, let us carry this spirit forward. Let us act responsibly, look out for one another, and remain guided by the values of respect, unity, justice, and hope. May the legacy of freedom continue to inspire us to build safer communities and a stronger and more unified nation.
Emancipation celebrations in Chaguanas East continue the nationwide observance leading up to Emancipation Day on August 1st. Faith Chariot, TTT News.
Now enough talking, it's time to experience all that culture for ourselves. Performing live for us on Trinidad and Tobago today, it's the Malik Folk Performing Company. ready to wrap it up for this year's Emancipation Day Show 2026 on Trinidad and Tobago Today. We'll leave you with a very special piece, this year's Dramology piece 2026 from the Malik Folk Performing Company. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Please be safe, and thanks to all our guests who made the show a success.
Father Costan, set here. Yeah, call him now. You could organize to come, right? You could organize to come, right?
Win tickets to cricket history. The men in maroon are coming home, and you could be there live. As part of the We Outside campaign, the West Indies take on Pakistan in an historic 2-match test series in Trinidad and Tobago. Watch and listen across the TTT Limited Network for your chance to win tickets to the matches. Tune in to TTT's Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show, Sweet 100.1 FM, Talk City 91.1 FM, and Next 99.1 FM. We'll be giving away tickets to both test matches, including the historic first test at Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Taruba, the venue's first ever international test match. So watch, listen, and win. West Indies versus Pakistan. The We Outside campaign continues, and your seat at the cricket could be just a call away. Watch, listen, win. West Indies versus Pakistan. Only on the TTT Limited Media Network.
We are the drum shaking. We are the drum shaking. We are the drum shaking.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 10-20 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
More news, more access, more ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter on air and online. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku says there is no change to the tax concessions available on qualifying hybrid vehicles, despite concerns raised following a recent Customs and Excise classification ruling. The concern arose after Customs issued General Order No. 24 of 2026, which clarified how certain mild hybrid vehicles should be classified for customs purposes. Some reports and social media commentary suggested that this new classification could affect the tax benefits currently enjoyed by hybrid vehicles. After meeting with the Trinidad and Tobago Automotive Dealers Association, the minister stated that the classification ruling is correct and consistent with international customs standards established by the World Customs Organization. However, he emphasized that the ruling does not remove, reduce, or change the customs duty relief provided under Legal Notice No. 247 of 2024. As a result, any new or used private hybrid vehicle that meets the requirements of that legal notice will continue to receive the existing customs duty concessions. Minister Tanku also said that neither the Customs and Excise Division nor the Ministry of Finance ever indicated that the 2024 legal notice had been revoked or replaced. the minister criticized the spread of unverified information, noting that inaccurate reporting and social media speculation created unnecessary concern among dealers and consumers. In other news, CARICHAM, the network of Caribbean Chambers of Commerce, has elected former Trinidad and Tobago Chamber President Kiran Maharaj as its new chairperson during its annual general meeting held on July 9, 2026. Joining her in the executive are Vice Chairs Vanessa Victorin of the Martinique Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Gino Nardine of the Suriname Chamber of Commerce. Representing more than 100,000 businesses through 24 business support organizations across the Caribbean, CARICHAM plays a key role in advancing regional trade and private sector development. Maharaj says her tenure will focus on strengthening trade facilitation, advocacy, knowledge sharing, and disaster risk reduction, while building resilience and creating new business opportunities throughout the region. 18 exceptional students are being honored for their academic achievement through the Chinese Ambassador Scholarship, a prestigious initiative that recognizes excellence while fostering stronger educational and cultural ties between Trinidad and Tobago and China. Chinese Ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, Ren Hongyan, said the program reflects both countries' shared commitment to investing in young people.
The future belongs to the younger generation, and empowering youth through education means investing in the long-term development of both nations. This is precisely the philosophy behind the establishment of the Chinese Ambassador Scholarship for young students in Trinidad and Tobago. Dear students, receiving this scholarship is both an honor and a responsibility. It recognizes your hard work and determination and encourages you to continue striving for excellence.
The ambassador encouraged the recipients to view the award as recognition of their hard work and a responsibility to continue pursuing excellence.
Your generation will shape the future of Trinidad and Tobago. Whether you grow into teachers, doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs, artists, public servants, or professionals in any other fields, your knowledge and the characters will contribute to the modernization and the sustainable development of this beautiful nation.
In sport, CONCACAF, football's governing body for North, Central America and the Caribbean, has rejected FIFA's proposal to sell stakes in the World Cup to private investors. All 41 member associations met Thursday, with many expressing frustration and a loss of confidence in FIFA President Gianni Infantino. In a statement, CONCACAF cited deep concerns over the lack of due process, the short deadline, and the absence of review by FIFA's governance bodies. The group also questioned the need for private funding after the most profitable World Cup in FIFA history. The move follows UEFA's announcement that all 55 European members would boycott FIFA competitions over the plan. FIFA is seeking to sell up to 21% of a new commercial entity, aiming to raise an estimated $4.2 billion. Infantino has insisted the plan is not an obligation and would require majority approval from member nations. And that was your TDC News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. On behalf of our entire team, have a great day.
More news, more access, more ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter on air and online. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.